Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about multiplying decimals by whole numbers using standard algorithm, and I think you'll be surprised that it's not much different from what you've already done before. So if you look here, we have three basic steps that you're going to follow, and at any time I'd like for you to pause this video and make sure that you record exactly these notes in your own math journal. So step number one says to multiply decimals by whole numbers, simply ignore the decimal at first and line up the digits. Now this is a little bit different than what you've been taught before. In the past, you've been told to line up decimals when you add or subtract, but when we multiply, it's completely different. You line up the digits and not the decimal. Step number two, then you just multiply like normal. You just multiply like you basically know how to multiply and then keep moving forward. Last, place your decimal according to how many digits are behind the decimal in your factor. So here's an example. Let's say I have 4 and 6300ths times 4. I would set it up just like this. I would set 4 and 6300ths times 4. Then I'm going to just do what it says here. I'm going to ignore the decimal at first. I'm just going to multiply like normal. 4 times 3 is 12, carry my 1. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 1 is 25, carry my 2. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 is 18. All right? So you end up with a digit that looks like this. So then you wonder, well, how do I place my decimal? All I do is I go back up to the first factor and I look and I see, okay, well, if this was a whole number, the decimal would have moved 2 places to the left. So I'm going to come down to my answer, start at the back of the number, and I'm going to move my decimal 2 places again to the left. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. It's not very, very hard. So here's another example, okay? Let's say we have 13 and 8400ths times 6. So you can just think, well, 1,384 times 6. You can ignore the decimal first. You just line up the digits and not the decimal. Don't even worry about the decimal. Pretend like it's not there. Then you do your basic multiplication just like you know. 6 times 4 is 24. Carry your 2. 6 times 8. 6 times 8. Why all of a sudden can I remember 6 times 8? Oh my goodness. 6 times 8. Oh my gosh. 6 times 8 is 48, guys. Oh my goodness gracious. Why couldn't I pull that out of my brain? 6 times 8, 48. Hello. Okay, 48 plus 2, 49, 50. So I put down my 0, carry my 5. 6 times 3, okay, is 36. 6 times 3 is 18 plus 5. 18, 23, so put down my 3, carry my 2. 6 times 1 is 2. You hear me? See, I psyched myself up. Anyway, 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. So you end up with an answer that looks like this. It looks like 8,304, but really it's a decimal. So I go back up to my first factor that has the decimal in it, and I count how many places that decimal would have moved to the left. So if this was a whole number, the decimal would be back here, right? So I'm going to count how many places it moved to the left. 1 and 2. Then I come over here to my answer and I count 2 places to the left. 1, 2. And this is how I place my decimal in my multiplication problem. So please excuse my little brain mishap where I couldn't figure out 6 times 8. Ugh, how embarrassing. Anyway, we all have those moments. Today, also during small group, we will go over this together and we'll do a little bit of practice.